Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Lai 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 33 says, Hine ma tovu manayim, how beautiful it is that we are all here together singing and praying as one community. So we're going to invite you to join in singing loudly and proudly, Hine ma tovu manayim. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Well, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is always good to be together. Always, always good to be together. But when we are together in celebration, it adds an extra level of joy, of enthusiasm, of ruach, of spirit to our celebration together. And tonight is truly a once-in-a-lifetime, maybe twice, kind of celebration as we get to celebrate a very special birthday. Sam, you all know you're the one that we're celebrating tonight. Anyone else have a birthday today? For real? Well, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, too. It's not your 100th birthday, though, is it? It's not your 100th.
Very far off from 100.
I was going to say, you look great. That said, I also know that we all come to this space for all kinds of reasons. And as we've said before, whether you are here tonight because you need to celebrate, we are here to hold you in your celebration. If you are here tonight because you are mourning the loss of a loved one or praying for healing of someone who is in need of care, these walls are big enough and strong enough to hold that as well. So whatever it is that brings you tonight, we hold you where you are. We hold one another together, and we welcome the light of Shabbat. I would like to invite Jackie and Lance to come and light our Shabbat, surprise, to come and light our Shabbat candles. You can find our Shabbat blessings on page 3, I believe, or 120. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. Let's turn to page 138 for Lecha Dodi. We have some extra soulful singing tonight. We invite Kehilah, Sydney, and Kaya. Everybody?
No, they know they're blocking.
They know they're
They'll
blocking.
come up.
I will not mess with the best.
Page 138. Let's join together.
Shabbat,
our sanctuary to welcome in the Shabbat bride.
Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala gam b'simcha u'b'tzora toch emunei am segula Boi kala
Everybody, let's join together.
Lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat lekabela lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat
Let's continue on page 144 with the Chatzi Kaddish. You may be seated.
Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Be'alma divarach Yerutei ve'amlich malchutei B'chayechon u'vyomechon U'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala U'vizman kari ve'meru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olal me'al maya yitbarach yitbarach ve'yishtabach v'yifar v'yitroma minasei ve'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei nekudesha Richu leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Zamiran ve'alema v'yimeru. Amen.
We take a moment now to ask for God's blessings on all of those who are observing a period of Shiva or Shloshim, the immediate 7 and 30-day mourning periods. If you wish to, we invite you to stand at this time so that we may ask for God's blessings upon you. Hamakom yenachem etchem, may you be comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Let's stand together for the Baruch Hu, page 146 or page 28.
Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam ha'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam ha'ed.
In the Hebrew, there we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ולילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב הרבים.
Together in the English on the next page. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Turning to page 158 or page 40, our lives are like a sea that we are always crossing. And we get to the other side by joining hands with the people around us, by learning from their wisdom, from their stories, from their life lessons. So together we rise in song. We'll stay seated, but spiritually rise in song as one community with stories and lessons to share.
Kehilah try clapping our hands together now. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Just like that. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Ve'eman kifata Adonai et Yaakov. Udalo mi'ad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Ga'al Yisrael. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 ya, la, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai.
We turn to page 160 or 42, our prayer for peace and protection.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim.
Let's join together.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu
The guard are going out and coming in. Ushmor Seiteinu. Uvoeinu. Lechaim u'leshalom. Me'ata ve'ad olam.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu
Eloheinu leShalom,
V'hamidenu
Eloheinu leShalom,
V'hamidenu
Eloheinu leShalom, V'hamidenu Amen.
Amen. We'll continue on page 162 or page 44 with Vashamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. try that. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת בדותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. Everybody now. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. Last time. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. Amen.
Cantor, you know how you know you've made it? Is that your Vishamer still gets a bet.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there we go. Hashtag life goals.
Life goals. We continue with the Amidah prayer that boasts its own choreography. See how I did that there, like that transition? We're going to stand first, and as we ask God to open up our lips, we step both backwards and forwards, approaching God in this earnest prayer with humility and love.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Adonai sefatai tivdach. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai. Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. El Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nechem, Leman Shemo be'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibur le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mohorid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, מחיי הכל ורחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Let's be seated. We'll turn to page 175 or 57 and read together at the bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Let's take this time for our own personal prayers and private reflections.
Let us now join together in words of meditation on page 260 at the bottom of the page. Join together in a prayer for peace.
Hoseh Shalom Biroma. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'ol Kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru, ve'imeru. Amen.
Amen.
Let's continue with our prayer for healing. You can find Misha Berach on page 371.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
This weekend, we enter the month of Elul. Having a hard time hearing me? Stephanie, can you turn me up a little bit? I want to make sure Sam can hear. If Sam goes like this, I asked Stephanie to make it louder. How are we now? Good? Better? Can you hear me better? Kinda? Kinda, sorta? I'm going to try to project. This weekend, we enter the month of Elul. Elul is, there we go. I'm going to say that again. Now pretend it was just the pretty singing part and not all the stuff in between. Let's take that moment. This weekend, we enter the month of Elul. Elul is the period of time, it is the month before the High Holy Days. These are the days that lead us towards the days when we do the work of digging into the people that we truly want to be, the people that we are striving to become. We are acknowledging the parts of ourselves that are broken and the parts of ourselves that need healing. And this month of Elul gives us time and gives us space to prepare for this work, which is hard to do. How do we do it? Where do we start? A little mini lesson on where we begin. We break down the word Elul into letters, Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. It's an acronym that stands for Ani ledodi vedodi li. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. When we go into this period of hard work, this hard work of healing ourselves and one another and the world around us, we look to the people that we love, and we gather strength from our relationships, from our friendships, from our community. We find strength in our beloved as we do this work of healing. If there's someone that you're thinking of tonight who is in need of physical healing, mental healing, spiritual healing, and you would like to share their name with our community, I invite you to do so out loud at this time. We wish refuah shlema to Bracha Bat Baruch, Albert Bick, Cassie Black, Stephen Black, Rita Buxman, Dove Vimalka, Miriam Bat Yaakov Vachaya, Mark Hester, Gretchen Huzinker, Joseph Heimovich, Patricia Kearney, Bernice Klein, Stan Quisen, Mark Leb, Pam Meyer, Eduardo Ospina, Ryan Ray, Sally Rosenblum, Dr. Larry Saltzman, Gary Stern, Rosemary Rizzo-Tolk, Addison Thompson, Gary Weltman, Georgina Willett, and Jim Willett. And of course, all of those names which have been put in online. We wish wholeness and healing to all those names mentioned.
Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue with a prayer for our country, page 376 or 258. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Page 377. Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael vegoalo, Barechet Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulateinu.
O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael vegoalo. Amen. Selah. Amen. Selah. Amen.
Amen. Well, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I have a little story for us tonight. It's a little one. It is a story about Abraham. Now, Abraham had a son. Well, he had two, but the one I'm thinking of, guess which one I'm thinking of? Isaac, yeah. Well, what's the other one's name? Not Esau. Wrong generation. No, Abraham's other son is Ishmael. There we go. That was just a test. That has nothing to do with anything else. Abraham had a son named Isaac. Now, we know that Isaac was quite a bit younger than his father because Abraham and Sarah were just about Sam's age when they found out that Isaac was coming. And does anyone remember what Sarah did when she found out she was going to have a baby? She laughed because that was hilarious. Now, there's a story that says that Abraham was the first person to ever age. To ever age. It doesn't mean that Abraham was the first person to grow old, but Abraham was the first person to ever visibly age. And this is because up until this point, no one had ever done so, not even Abraham. And so Abraham and Isaac would go out, as you do, and no one could tell who was who because they looked identical, even though Abraham was a good 100 years older than his son. So, they'd go to the bar and They both get carded. They go to the movies and they wouldn't let anybody in. But in all seriousness, why is it important to be able to tell when looking at someone about how old they are? Why is it important to show our age? I'm going to try a Rabbi Khan, and I'm going to do one of these. Let's see how it goes. Why is it important to show some visible signs of age? Joe.
Respect.
Respecting your youngers.
Respecting the older person.
Now, let me tell you, I spent the summer at Camp Stein, and I was the old guy with all the 20-year-olds. Respect your elders, right? Respect. There is a respect that is earned through age. What else? Samara, nice to see you. Hi.
Experience.
Why should we see
People-
someone's experience?
People think you deserve more respect and that you know more because you've lived more years and have more experience, although that's not really true, but we'll go with it.
But sometimes it's true, right? There is something to be learned from one who has been through more than you have. And simply by number of years on this earth, one who has aged has more experience than one who has not yet. What do you think, Theo? Is it important to you to know who's old and who's young, be able to tell who's about your age? Yeah? Any reasons why? No reason why, just important. That's okay. Anyone else, Janie?
Knowledge.
Say that into the microphone.
Knowledge. Knowledge being different than experience. It can be book knowledge. It can be living knowledge that's not necessarily experience, but things you just learn through living.
Things that we learn through living. There is much to be learned just simply by having the experience of life. There is knowledge and experience, and these two things are linked, but not necessarily exactly the same thing, right? And if perhaps we are a person who has not aged as much as somebody else, and we have a question, we might want to look to someone who's been there. And how do we know if everybody looks the same age? I know it's a ridiculous premise, but the rabbis clearly didn't think so, because they were trying to figure out why it was important that Abraham should show his age. Any other thoughts on why it is important for one to show their age? Janie's got another. And then I'm going to cut this off. Janie, take the microphone so I'm not leaning over Jeffrey in a weird way.
When you look old, and you are old, Sam, this does not apply to you, but you could be closer to the end of your life. And it's important that people know where you are in your longevity.
And why is it important?
I don't think it's a matter of sympathy. I think it was Samara who said respect. But it's a matter of deference, I think.
Yeah, deference and achievement too, right? That aging is not something that we all get to take for granted. It is a special thing to go through.
Caring.
Say that into the
Caring.
microphone.
Caring.
Why? See, no one ever answers when I ask, because you know I'm always going to say why. Now you know I'm going to say why.
Because.
Because I said so. You got anything else for me?
As obviously, people who have aged may need more caring, and then the very young may need more caring also.
That we all have different needs depending on perhaps where we are in life. You know, as a rabbi, when I see a great-grandparent of the bar bat mitzvah come up the steps, I may offer an arm. They may get mad at me for it, but I may do it because it is possible that that person needs caring in that way. Similarly, when a young person comes, they might need caring in a different way, like reminders of what is and is not appropriate. That said, sometimes we all need that. Oh, you got another one. All right, last one.
Okay,
Oh, we got more.
so this is what happens when I show up to synagogue.
That's why you got to come more.
So, Lador Vador, generation to generation, if someone's older, it's almost showing that it's the end of one stage or block if you're looking at a family tree and moving on to the next, assuming that they have children. But it's passing down from generation to generation. So it's really important with the elderly because it's kind of showing this is kind of the end of an era. Yeah, that's right.
Legacy.
Yeah, legacy.
Legacy, beautiful. Marty. Then that's the last one, I swear. But you see, I'm showing deference
To
Marty.
Effective communication.
Tell me more about that.
Well, seniors need to be careful about how they communicate to young people, and young people are searching for information and answers, and hopefully they ask the right question to the right people who have the experience and are more senior.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. So there is a reason why. Now, God needed to be taught this, that there was a reason why Abraham and Isaac couldn't look the same. By the way, just a side note, I saw a picture today of a friend of mine's grandmother surrounded by 8 of her grandchildren. And I've never seen such a happy look on anyone's face ever. Samara, this reminded me of what you said, that this idea of being surrounded by legacy is a beautiful thought, a beautiful idea, and important to acknowledge. So Abraham goes to God and says, God, you've got to do something so that we can tell the difference between young and old. We need to be able to know who's the parent and who's the child, who has this wisdom, who deserves this deference and respect, and who is still growing into their age. And so Abraham went to sleep that night and woke up the next morning and found that the hair on his head had turned white. Master of the universe, Abraham explained, you have made me a spectacle. Maybe this isn't quite what Abraham was expecting as the first person to ever age before. And it says in the Parsha, in the Midrash, your gray hair is a crown of glory. And that's why it says in this Torah portion that Abraham was old and specifies that gray hair is beautiful and glorious. And that's why I'm letting this streak just grow in naturally. I can't wait till it's in its full glory. Now Moses, if we come to this week's Parsha, Moses is at the end of his life. Moses, sorry to say it, Sam, Moses has hit 120. He's got a couple years on you. Moses is 120 and speaking to the people of Israel. And when we see pictures of Moses, when we see artistic renderings, usually what we see from Moses at this time in his life is a man with weathered skin, maybe a long white beard, sometimes long white hair. We see someone who shows the signs of age, someone whose hair is like a crown of glory. And presumably, this is to say that what Moses is teaching the Israelites throughout the book of Deuteronomy, that this is wisdom. This is experience. This is a message that the Israelites know to respect because it comes from the voice of an elder who has had more experience than any of the other Israelites in the desert. There is so much to be shared in our tradition about ways that those who have aged are revered. When we think about Abraham, like we were talking about a few moments ago, Abraham welcomes these visitors at 99 years old. And then even after Sarah's death, Abraham remarries and has more children. This is after Isaac has already grown. He has more love. He has more life. He has more experience. Moses, too, is teaching the Israelites at age 120 that old age is not a time for us to do less, but to do what comes next. There is no better model of this than Sam Baker. Sam, you are an author. You've become a bar mitzvah right here on this bima in the last 4 years, right? You are a learner, and you are an active participant in our community. Now, Sam, we're going to take a little field trip because we're going to come talk to you directly right now. And by we, I mean me and Cantor. We're going to go visit Sam because we've got a little more to say to you. Hi, Sam. How's it going?
Just fine.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I hope it's a good one.
It's been a terrific day.
So, Sam, as I was saying a moment ago, you have shown us, you've taught everybody in this room from your crown of glory that in our old age, there is always more to do. There's always another book to write. There's always a day to be lived. There is something to learn, a story to share. And I happened to see a clip from a PBS special that aired this week where you told the world, that you weren't quite sure why you lived to be 100 years old, but that there is brightness in every day, that there is something to learn every day, that there is good and light in every single day. And Sam, today, on your 100th birthday, you bring the light to today. You have given every single person here the experience of knowing you, of celebrating with you, and feeling the joy of your wisdom and your knowledge, and let's be honest, your humor and your smile. We all have so much to be grateful for because we have the opportunity to know you. So as they say, ad 120, until 120, may you continue, or somewhere about there. May you continue to bless us with this light that shines from deep within you. And so Cantor and I will offer these words of blessing, the same ones that we bless little babies, B'nai Mitzvah students, wedding couples, and now you.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you and may God keep you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God's face continue to shine on you and be gracious to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
May you always feel God's presence within you, and may you continue to be blessed with the light of peace.
וישם לך שלום, וישם לך שלום, שלום, שלום.
Amen. And Mazel Tov.
Siman Tov and Mazel
Happy
Tov,
birthday,
Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov. I will do that. Now, Sam, it has to be a very special occasion for a rabbi to offer the microphone to anybody else during the service. You don't have, no pressure, but is there anything you would like to say?
Can we do this next week?
Sure.
Sounds good.
I think every week from this day forward.
You know, my mother was very religious, and I used to walk her to services. And the temple was, the old timers remember this. The temple was built in 1929. That was when the Depression came. It was 2 blocks from home, and I remember as a small kid, I used to walk Mother to the temple on Friday night, and we had to sit up in the balcony because we had a congregation that was Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform, all in the same temple. And as the Orthodox passed away, then we went downstairs and sat. And the few Orthodox that were left, they would start the services, and then when the Conservatives and Reforms came, they'd take one of the Torahs and go down to an ark down in the basement, and they'd come back up and have a joint service to close out this thing. My mitzvah was three of us, Charles Levine, Sonny Block, and me. It was in November. I found a paper, Rabbi Talachko, who wasn't a rabbi. He was a senior in the yeshiva, but they couldn't afford a rabbi, so they bought a senior yeshiva student. My father showed me how to put the tefillin on, as did Charles's father and Sonny's father. And then we all stood up there, and the rabbi said, "Repeat after me," and then you're bar mitzvah.
That's all it takes.
And for confirmation, I was the shortest one in the class. But when we finished high school, I was as tall as any of them. So, I was just thinking today, I went into service, and I didn't see a chaplain, not ever. On Okinawa, we happened to confiscate a whole crate of eggs, fresh eggs. My sergeant had seen an egg in 3 years. And so we set up a little mess in my platoon. And guess what? This was on Monday. Tuesday, guess how many chaplains we had there? 7. We had 7 chaplains come over for breakfast. Maybe they could smell the fresh eggs. But I traveled a lot, and I looked at temples. I remember the first holiday after I came back from the service. I was in Cleveland, Ohio, and I went to Shaker Heights. And I went into the office, and I said, "I'd like to buy a ticket for the holidays." And the man said, "Are you a veteran?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Your money's no good here. Here's a ticket." These things happen. I was in home when Sally was born, and I came back, and we took her to the temple. I had the naming ceremony. But my parents taught me to be kind to people. I never heard them issue a curse word. My father worked with black people all his life. He never uttered the N-word. They never talked bad about people. And my mother never turned away during the Depression years anybody who came and asked for food. So they taught us what was right and what was wrong. And when Sally and Mike Sally was 5 and Mike was 3, I bought him a little puppy. And I didn't tell him he was going to get one. I brought him home and put him in the door. And it was Friday night, and they were eating dinner. And Sally saw him and said, "A puppy," and that was the end of dinner. That little dog spent all his time kissing the children. He didn't even want to drink his milk because he wanted to kiss the kids. Where did they learn that love? Why can't we learn from them? When you come home and you have a dog, he greets you at the door with his tail wagging. There's so much hate today in the world, it bothers me. And if we could just not let it take over and we could have love replace hate, wouldn't this be a great place to live?
Amen. Well, happy birthday, Sam. Yeah.
So, Sam, you've inspired so much good in all of us who are here with you tonight. And you've changed all of our lives for the better. And so, Kehilah and I have a gift we would like to give you as a small token of our thanks and our gratitude on behalf of Congregation Beth Israel on your 100th birthday.
Hello. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those that help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
We can say we have been changed for the better. We do believe we have been changed for the better.
And because we know you,
because we know you, because we know you. Everybody, we have been changed for good. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Now everybody live to be 100 years old, at least, so we can sing to you just like that. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sam. And as I think most of you know, everyone is invited to a birthday party following services in the ballroom. But before that, Jackie, I know there's more announcements. I'd like to invite Jackie Cohen, our past president, to share even more happy things.
On? Is it on? No? Yes? Oh, it is. Okay, great. Sorry. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Sam, happy birthday. Sally, I think with your dad being 100 and your aunt being 103, you have some good genes, so. So Hevra, our revamped religious school program, is open for registration. All students in grades pre-K through 6 should be registered ahead of our opening day, which is this Sunday, August 28th. Please reach out to Rabbi Mason Barkin with any questions. The High Holy Day schedule and ticket registration is now available on our website and in the weekly e-newsletter. We are excited to be together as we welcome in a new year of peace, health, and optimism. Our Friday night dinner group is back. If you are interested in joining our Friday night dinner group, please contact CBI member Elaine Glazer, who is here, but there's so many people I don't see her. I saw her in the rotunda. Where are you? I saw her earlier. Anywho, so please RSVP her for restaurant info and 1 week in advance, and her contact information is listed on the Shabbat program. Rabbi Khan will lead 2 sessions for any mourners who have lost a loved one in the past few years. Together we will look at Jewish texts and learn from each other to find the meaning and purpose as we approach the High Holy Days. Sessions will be held in our Goldsmith Sanctuary on Tuesdays, August 30th and September 6th from 7 to 8:30. And lastly, if you are visiting for the first time, please come and see me or the clergy or any of the board members who are wearing a name badge, and we'd love to wish you a special Shabbat and tell you a little bit about our shul. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
And before we go ahead and continue, I want to thank some very special guests who joined us tonight to lead us in song. I want to thank Sydney Woolman, Kayla Trevino, Kaya Gibbs, Joy Pan, Jackie Huber. As always, thank you so much for being with us and taking our service to such incredible heights. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's continue on page 586. We'll stand for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We turn now in our books to page 598 or 294 for Mourner's Kaddish. Tonight we are remembering those of our community who have died in recent days. We are remembering Dennis Lee Culloden, husband of Catherine Culloden, father of Nicole, Adam, and Alex and Shannon Culloden, grandfather of Gideon. And we remember those who have died at this time in years past. Tonight we are remembering Irving Abrahams, Joy Becker, Victoria Bello, Rose Berman, Albert Blum, Sadie Isle, Sam Epstein, Robert Friedman, Ronald Gerber, Bertha Ginsburg, Charles H. Glantz, Shirley Eskovitz Goldman, Eric Harris, Betty Herman, Ann Hooden, Louis Horowitz, Marvin Itzkowitz, Melinda Ivester, Golda Kamenetz, Moore Cates, Oliver Curzon, Lynn Krause, Sally Kuznitsky, Marjorie Levine, Robert Emmett Levi, Rachel Levin, Felita Laurie, Byron Ramanovsky, Bruce Reamer, Arnold Rose, Joseph Herman Rosenthal, Gladys Ross, Stuart Andrew Rush, Alan Schneider, Harry Schwartz, Anna Seidberg, Harry Schaefer, Leonard Skomer, Louis Smith, Duke Spiro, Ann Bessie Starr, Sanford Tegans, Ruby Tenenhouse, Jack Wellman, Dr. Charles Wexler, Michael Wise, and Bessie Heiken-Wolf. If there's anyone else you are thinking of tonight who has died in recent days or at this time in years past, and you would like to share their name out loud, I invite you to do so at this time. We also remember the 6 million who perished in the Shoah, including the 1.5 million children who have no one to say Kaddish for them. And as always, we recall with admiration the soldiers and civilians of the state of Israel who have given their lives for our Jewish homeland. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may all of their lives be a loving blessing. Yitkadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma tivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. B'gala u'v'yizman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yiparach v'yishabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei d'Kedoshah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Hosei Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who are in mourning and comfort to all who are bereaved as we say together, Amen.
Amen. And we are going to conclude with a very special prayer for peace. We invite you to close your Sidurim.
Say shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Say shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Say shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael.
Ose shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Keep it going now. Yaseh shalom,
Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael.
yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel. Amen. And our last very special guest this evening, Max Drockler, blowing the shofar for the first time, bringing Chodesh Tov for this month of Elul. Tekiah, Shvarim, Cheruah, Tekiah Gedolah. Yashakoach! Yashakoach! We have a magnificent Elul and high holidays in store, as you can see from everyone tonight. So let's go ahead and join for Kiddush and Motzi in the here. In the here.
In the
There
here.
we
Look,
go.
there's the challah. Look, it's a challah. Yeah,
you,
you
Max.
can do this.
Yashakoach.
All right, Sydney, why don't you get the cup? We're going to do that first. Hold it up nice and high.
Baruch atah Adonai
need to sneak the challah out of the
Eloheinu
plastic
melech
bag, right?
haolam borei peri hagafen lechayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz we will see you in the ballroom for our special celebration.